Good morning one and all. I am Dr. Rachana Bairagi from Department of Humanities, IAS IPS Academy Indore. Today we are going to discuss about report writing. This topic is basically 4 pillars of communication skills. It comes under the writing skills and it is the foremost requirement of every student nowadays. So let us discuss about the topic report writing. So under report writing, first of all we must understand what is the report writing. So report word has come from the Latin word reportare, which means to carry back the information. Here we can understand the report word in such a way reportire here re means back and portere or port means to carry. So we can understand the report word as to carry back the information, to carry back the information. There has to be one question in your mind, that what types of information to be carried back. So in report writing we just understand and we just carry back the information which has already happened in past incidents, past events, like FIR, first information report. So suppose for example if you have met with any accident and you became your friend became the witness of that accident, so you can narrate that incident in your own language and you can just redraft that information, that is to carry back the information. I hope that the meaning of the report is very clear to each one of you. Then today we are going to discuss some of the types of report writing and then the structure of report writing. Structure of report. Before that, we must understand what are the basic types of report. Number 1, you all must have acquainted with the report writing, you all have done laboratory report. So we begin with number 1, laboratory report. Now what do you do in laboratory report? You conduct such kind of experiments and then on the basis of the experiments you have certain methodology, you apply certain reagents, mixing of both the reagents or any other dependent on the type of experiments you are conducting, and then at last you come with certain conclusion or result So in laboratory report we have certain kind of endpoint where we have met with certain kind of result, output of it. Then there are further types of reports where we have formal reports, oral reports. For example, in call centers they have the regular at the end of their session and their timings, they have to give the short briefing of the entire day or the night shift, depends. So there also we have the oral report. But the drawback of oral report is it is not the authentic one first, and second it is not in the case of formal report. It may be counted as in the form of informal, because later on if you wanted to take the references of it or in future if you want to take the note of it, then there will be no evidence to you. So oral reports are generally to be avoided, but there are certain sectors where we require oral report. Then written report. Written reports are generally day to days we require written reports. Written reports are much authentic, they have the proof, and whatever information later on if we wish to deal it or refer it, then we have the evidences. So we can deal with the written report. It is more formal in as compared to the oral report. Then the next one is spatial report. Spatial report, it is a kind of report which is generally written for certain causes, certain spatial causes like annual reports if you are writing any kind of event report that is also on certain occasions. So, spatial reports are generally written for certain spatial causes. Then in companies we also have routine report. Means such kinds of reports are written at the very interval of time, like may be written weekly, may be written after 15 days, after 20 days, after 1 month, annually, quarterly or half yearly. So, it depends on the requirement of such kinds of routine reports after a span of time. Then I hope that types of reports are clear. Then we shift to the structure of report. Generally, we discuss the letter format of a report. Letter format means the basically business letter kind of report, where we have certain small kind of which are not large in size. These kinds of reports are generally written in the form of letter reports. Then the next one is letter text combination format. Letter text combination format. Now, according to this structure of a report, generally it is a very lengthy report. It depends on the type of report if you are developing. So, letter text combination format further have certain 3 bifurcation. Number 1 is front matter, number 2 is body of the report, and number 3 is end part or back matter. So, when we are discussing about letter text combination form or structure of a report, generally these types of headings are not given in the report, but the elements of the reports, they follow these 3 parts: front matter, body of the report, and the last one is end or back matter. Why we name it front matter and back matter and body of the report? Because all the elements of the report which comes under this category will be placed before the report, means before body of the report. And other than this, the end part or back matter, so body of the report, after completion of this, the additional elements of the report, they will be placed after it. So, likewise for memorizing it, front matter, body of the report and end or back matter, you can memorize in a way that matters or elements which are placed before the body of the matter are known as the front matter, and the body of the report which are placed after completion of the report are to be known as the back matter. Now, each one of the elements we are going to discuss one by one. So, first we discuss with the front matter. Now, here in front matter we have first one, that is cover page or title page. Now, there has to be, this is the first page of your report, where we have to discuss about how the elements, what is the title of the report, what should be the submission detail, is there any confidential about the report. So, all their basic details regarding the report will be placed here in the cover page or the title page. There is a slight difference, though they are similar, but there is a slight difference between cover page and title page. Cover page, generally it is a covering manuscript of a report or any formal document, where we have the address, for example, then title, then submitted by and submitted to, means whosoever has prepared the report, किसके द्वारा report prepare की गई है, and to whom you are submitting your report, date if any, then is there any report number, you can also mention here on the cover page. So these are the details to be mentioned on the cover page. Then what is title page? So other than this, on the title page we have the same details, but the basic difference in the cover page and the title page, cover page is the losing protecting manuscript of your report, while on the title page you place your initial. आपके initial, आपके signature जो होंगे to provide it the authenticity will be on the title slide or sorry title page. Then move to the next one. I hope this is clear. The second part is, the second part of the front matter is frontispiece. I know that this terminology is new to you. Frontispiece. Frontispiece, it is only to mention certain caricatures, certain graphs, certain charts which should be relevant to the title of your report, that are to be placed on the frontispiece. So frontispiece is nothing, it is to be placed on the cover page of your report, where you can utilize certain pictures, certain diagrams, certain graphs which are relevant to the title of your report. Then shift to the next one, that is forward. Now what is forward or forwarding letters? So forwarding letters or forward are not to be written by the drafter of the report, but this part has to be written by the expertise or the committee panel members which are further forwarding the report to the next level. So this part is a optional part, it is not initially to be written by the drafter of the report. Then the next one is table of content. Table of contents. So always in your books, whatever the textbook you are referring, you will always get the table of contents. So you must look there that in table of contents you have certain headings about the chapter, then the page number. I repeat, I just rub it. For example, assume that this is your page where you have to mention the table of contents. So give the heading table of contents. Here you can mention the heading chapter, and on the right hand corner of the page you can mention page number. So here chapter, as we are aware, that should be in the form of Roman numbers, and page number can be written in two manner. One is you can directly mention from where the chapter 1 has begun, like for example page number 1. Then the another way of mentioning the page number, where it has begun, for example chapter number 1 begins with page number 1 and it leads to the end to the page number 20, for example. So you can mention page number 1 or 20 both. But remember one thing, these are to be included as per the body of the report. And one more thing, if additional documents, additional supportive documents are attached here in the table of content, then they should not be mentioned here in the chapter scheme. It should be loosely, like for example I give here for better understanding. 2, 3, 4 and 5. So, here we can mention like preface, acknowledgement, and further details. So, these are the supportive documents which are attached along with your report. So, these should not be given the page number. They will be given the Roman numbers and not to be included under the chapter scheme. I hope this is clear. Table of contents. The next one is list of illustration. The next element of front matter is list of illustration. It's I think 4, list of illustration. Now, what is the difference between the table of contents and list of illustrations? So, in list of illustrations, if we have designed the report generally for technical domain, for mathematics, for physics, where you have certain graphs, certain charts or certain technical terminologies. So, to mention, because it will create a mess up if you will include both the things in the table of contents. So, to avoid, to make it in a synchronized manner, we have developed the list of illustration, where you will give the chapter number, the page number as per the headings and subheadings. Remember this, it will be as per the headings and subheadings, whichever the headings and subheadings in your respective chapters you have given, you have to give the numbers like 3.2.1. So, it will be a better understanding where you have included illustrations, graphs in your report. But if your report is not having certain kinds of technical elements, then you can avoid and skip this particular element. It is optional, depends on the type of report you are developing. The next one is very important, that is abstract, summary and synopsis. I can understand that these particular terminologies, only summary is known to you. You might not be knowing about abstract and synopsis. So, abstract is what? Generally, it is to be written where we have to do certain kind of research, means research paper, any kind of thesis, dissertation, there we write down the abstract. So, in report also we develop the abstract, we also develop the summary, and we also develop the synopsis. Synopsis is generally for the research area where we have to develop a pre-proposal before submitting the actual thesis or dissertation in that particular domain. So, we develop prior the synopsis, we prepare synopsis as per the parameters and the structure. So, we must understand basically these two, abstract and summary. There is a difference between abstract and summary. Abstract is just to give the whole idea what the report is all about. आपकी report किसके बारे में है, you just give the idea in the abstract. And in summary, after completion of the report, you always give the summary and summarize, because your report may contain 50 pages, 100 pages, it depends on the length of the report. So, to avoid certain kinds of lengthiness and to save our time, we develop the summary of the report, and summary is to be used 5 to 10% of the actual content, whereas abstract is very short, it should be used 2 to 5% of the actual content. So, this is the basic difference, that its length is very less and it is more than as compared to abstract. Then one more difference is there, that summary is to highlight all the important highlights given in the report, whereas abstract is just giving the idea what you have mentioned in your report. So, I hope this is clear now. Shift to the next one. The next part is body of the report. This is a very important part of your report, body of the report. So, generally your body of the report is the soul of your report. Whatever the research you have done, whatever the proposal you have done, whatever the amendment you have done, what are your findings there, what kind of terminology, methodology you have applied, what is your hypothesis, what may be the outcome or result of your report, all the things has to be mentioned in the body of the report, while certain parameters, certain headings. So, number 1 is in the body of the report is introduction. Introduction, generally we understand that it will give the idea or the background of the report. What is your report is all about, that you are going to mention here in introduction. Then the second one is findings. It is discussion first and then findings. Discussions or description, then the findings. So, here under discussions means whatever methodology you have applied to write your report, that you have to give the discussion, but that should not be more, that should not be too lengthy rather. And description, what the parameters you have applied, how you have gone for the completion of the report, what tells about the report, everything has to be discussed here. And then at last, after you have given a proper description about the report, that you shift to the findings. Findings means in the initially when you have started writing your report, what the hypothesis you have taken, and here we are to some extent finding that what we have found after completion of the work. So, in your report you will find certain kind of, to some extent, easing or reaching to the ease of hypothesis, may or may not, it depends. So, what are your findings? Then after you have successfully done the findings, then you reach to the conclusion. Conclusion part means concluding, you have certain end point and statement to give certain theories or practically certain put up, then opinion, what you have done in the report. After findings, after investigation, after discussion, description, at the end what you have come across. So, in conclusion you maintain all these statements, that this is our findings and conclusion. And then this can further be included, bifurcated in two parts, whether the result and the outcome. We can correlate this with the result of your laboratory experiments. Like you have done the experiments, at the end you get the result like 4.6, 4.9, this may be the result or outcome. So, this may be included in the conclusion, and they can also be excluded from conclusion, separately also it can be written, it depends on the drafter of the report. So, this is the soul of the report we have discussed about, I hope there is no doubt related to it. And then the third part, which is very important part and part of the report, back matter of the report. So, let us discuss about the C part, back matter. What are the elements to be included in this particular matter? Number 1 is appendix. This is not the appendix, or the plural form is appendices. Now, appendix, these are the documents or supplementary documents which you find that these cannot be included in the body of the report, because it might disturb, it may get disturbance in the framing or coherence of the report. So, these kinds of elements you can include in the appendix or appendices. If you do not have such kind of supportive or loose documents, then this part is optional, you can omit it. But if you have added to provide the strength to your report, to provide certain evidences like questionnaire, like survey if you have done, then this part should be included. most of the letter text combination format, they use certain kind of supportive or loose documents, and they are to be included in the back matter appendix. Come to the next one, that is glossary. Now, glossary means vocabulary, we can understand. So, glossary is if you are dealing with the technical terminology, certain technical words, jargons are used, then you can mention the vocabulary glossary here. So, if you have to give a better understanding to the reader of your report, then you can mention this particular part, and if you are dealing with the general language, there is no certain kind of jargon or technical terminology if you have used, then this part can be omitted. The next one is references and bibliography. And the last one is index. So, we begin with references. References are to be included in the report, while if you have mentioned certain kind of citation in your report, means it is to give the credit to the authors whose works you have incorporated in your report. For example, if you have taken the citation for, from any novel, from any works of the or any thesis, then this should be given due credit that we have taken your works. So, you have to mention the citation under the heading references. Later I will explain that how we can develop the references and what is bibliography and what is the difference between reference and bibliography. So, references are the listing of the cited words cited works which we have incorporated in our report, and bibliography is the overall listing of the referred work. It may be published, it may be unpublished, but whatever the works you have referred during the completion of your report work, in the body of the report you have mentioned it or not, it does not matter, because the listing of the mentioned works we have already given in the references, but in bibliography we only enlist the works in the alphabetical order to give the credit to the authors whose works we have referred. Referred means which we have read. We have taken the idea from their work, but we have not incorporated any of such kind of citation from those works. I hope the difference between the references and bibliography is clear. Then the next one is index. Index is the optional part. If you wish, you can give the indexing under the alphabetical order for certain terminology. If you wish to not to include, then this part can be omitted from the report. Now, basically these two parts are difficult for better understanding, then I am disclosing both the references and bibliography. First we discuss references and then bibliography. How we can give the references or citation. So, if your report is not too lengthy, means any citation is not too lengthy, then this particular part can be mentioned in the form of footnote. Footnote means wherever on the page, assume that this is a page of your report and here you have given the citation, and after giving the citation you wish to give its citation where you have given the quote. So, this can be written in the form of footnote. This is known as footnotes because it will be at the end of the page, on the same page where you have given the citation. Likewise, but this was the traditional part. Nowadays, as per the MLA 7th, MLA 8th, and nowadays we have the latest edition, that is the 9th one. But though we are following this, as per the research parameters are concerned, then we have the APA style also, Then we have MLA also. Generally we follow the MLA, members of language association, sorry. Then next, though we have not included footnote, then where we have to give the work cited list. So, for example, your chapter number 1 is completed, and at last, at the end of the chapter number 1, you will give the heading works cited, or you can write down references. Both the headings are clear. Then after work cited, how you are going to discuss it? So it should be as per the MLA 8th edition in text and out text combination. We have to give first of all alphabetically order, in the alphabetical order, the author's name, and author's name, surname first and then name. First surname and name, and as per the surname we have to give the alphabetical order here. For example, like Arvind Adiga, the author, Arvind Adiga. So here author's name is Arvind and his surname is Adiga. So surname will be here first and then name will be afterwards. Likewise, then place a comma, and then in the double inverted comma you have to give the title of the book. But title of the book, earlier it was written in the quotation mark, now it has become in the italics form. Italics form. First mention the title of the book, whichever from where you have cited the work in your report, and then after the title of the book you have to give the place of publication. Nowadays this part is also omitted. Then name of publisher, year of publication, and then the medium of publication. When we were following the 7th MLA style sheet, as per it, we were mentioning here only the year and the page number. But nowadays we are omitting this part because this part is not included as per the 8th edition. So page number we have already given in the in text format. Then medium means medium, I am giving you better understanding, like it is print medium, or it is web source, or it is any secondary like any interview, or it is any IMBD, any kind of medium, whichever from where you have taken the sources in your body of the report, that has to be included here in the heading medium. So likewise, this is for the author, it will take too much time if you will include all the things as per the MLA 8th and 7th edition. So I wind up here just for better understanding that this is the way to give the credit to the authors whose works we have included in the body of the report. I hope that this is clear now. Then bibliography. So bibliography, remember, never mention the page number on the bibliography. Bibliography is the listing of the works. Bibliography is the listing of the works where we have included the listing of the works in the alphabetical order, surname first, then name. Again the same has to be followed, author's name, surname and name, then title of the book, year of publication, place of publication, medium, but there should not be inclusion of the page number here, and you should it is not mandatory that only you have to give the listing of the referred work. You can also give the alphabetical order references which you have cited in your work. So all the mixing of references and the referred work to be included under the heading bibliography. So I hope the reference is clear. This can also be included under the two heading, not to go into detail, primary and secondary sources. Secondary sources. Primary means the textbooks which you have taken for your work, and Secondary means the supportive. Suppose I have developed my own book, I am the first author of the book and somebody else has written the criticism about my book. So, that will come, that criticism will come under the category of secondary works. So, this is all about the letter text combination format of a book, and later on this is generally recorded, this is generally to be used, but for short report writing we use the letter format, business letter format. I hope this topic is very clear to every one of you. So, we wind up all for today, and thank you. Have a nice day to all of you.